Hi, I'd like to introduce Susan Berta
and Howard Garrett. We're the co-founders of Orca Network, and in 2007, we started Orca Month. We'd like to share a short slideshow of the history of the last 15 years of Orca Month. And now, live from Orca Network, welcome to the 15th annual Orca Month.
And as we begin screen sharing for the slideshow, I'd like to mention that in 2005, the Southern resident orca community was declared endangered under the Endangered Species Act. And so it seemed only right to draw attention to these amazing and mysterious orcas that we share these waters of Puget Sound with. When J2 Granny passed away, we dedicated that year's Orca Awareness Month to her as the Grand Dame, the matriarch of the Southern resident orcas. And we began efforts to encourage everyone to work toward creating a month-long effort to raise awareness and attention to the endangered Southern resident orcas. And we began in June, making June Orca Month, because in June, all the Southern residents usually were around in the Salish Sea around the San Juan Islands. But of course, in recent years, in the past about 8 years, they have not returned every year. And that is why we had to transition from Orca Awareness Month to Orca Action Month.
We started by making a petition to name June as Orca Month in 2007. We collected 500 signatures and applied to have our first proclamation for June as Orca Month in 2007. At that time, their population was 85 whales. In 2021, sadly, the population is only 75. That's after 15 years of Orca Month and Orca recovery efforts.
In 2007, the original proclamation was signed by Governor Gregoire, and it's pretty well stayed the same proclamation each year. And it does highlight that we have only begun to learn about this species' intelligence and social capabilities.
In our first year and many years since, we also partnered with the Washington Wine and Beverage Company, who had just launched their Orca wines. They wanted to not only market these wines, but to use them to educate people about the Southern resident orcas. The great thing was they had displays in major grocery stores around Puget Sound where they put up educational info about the Southern resident orcas, and they also raised funds for orca recovery efforts through the sales of orca wine.
Our original logo featured J1 ruffles, the masthead, the great elder male of the Southern resident orcas.
In 2009, we were honored to get to meet Governor Gregoire as she signed the proclamation, along with Karen Monroe Ellick. Karen and Ralph Monroe have been great champions of the orcas from the 1970s and continue to this day helping the residents.
In 2009, also, Puget Sound Partnership joined in with us to bring awareness to the orcas with Orca Awareness Month. And they created this great logo that was used until 2015.
In 2014, we were honored to be able to celebrate Orca Month on board the brand new Tokitai ferry. We had petitioned to have this ferry named after Lolita, who was captured in Penn Cove and has been at the Miami Seaquarium ever since. It just so happened that the ferry came online on the Mukilteo Clinton Run in June of 2014, and we were able to celebrate that and Orca Month all together on board the new ferry.
And in 2016, the Orca Salmon Alliance of salmon and orca environmental organizations joined with Orca Network to sponsor Orca Month. And Sarah Haisong Shimazu designed this beautiful logo that very appropriately shows orcas in pursuit of salmon. Beginning in 2016, the state of Oregon and British Columbia, Canada joined with Washington in celebrating Orca Awareness Month.
Then in 2019, we changed the name to Orca Action Month, feeling that the good news is more and more people were aware of the orcas, but we felt not enough action was being taken. So we increased our advocacy and action efforts, and Sarah made this beautiful new logo for us.
And in 2019, Governor Inslee presented the proclamation and read the proclamation to this whole crowd of people, this bunch of very influential people on the steps of the Capitol, and presented it to Cindy Hansen, Orca Network's Education and Advocacy Coordinator. And at the same time, he signed 5 bills based on recommendations from his task force to protect and grow orca and salmon populations.
So we welcome you to the Orca Action Month 2021. Here's the newly signed proclamation. And we invite you to go to our orcamonth.com website and our Orca Month Facebook page to find all the amazing events that have been set up by the Orca Salmon Alliance and other organizations across the Salish Sea. Thanks for joining us. And we hope you take part in many of the actions and educational events this month and enjoy the month.